Hello students, this is your professor Aammar Zaki, and this is the first lecture on Mootology and Mooting skills. So this lecture will not only help you in your moot court competitions, but the entire lecture will also help you in preparing yourself in real life courts. Okay, so as we have already discussed that a moot court has three members. The moot court team has a three members, two speakers and one researcher. Now, before you begin, remember your team is done. Now you have to remember, for any moot court competition or for any real life case, good preparation is the key to success in mooting competition. So if you want to win any competition, if you want to win the moot court competition, you will have to prepare yourself very nicely, and a good preparation can only lead you to success. Now, the first and most important thing in a moot court competition is that the timing and commitment. Now, when the competition is announced, you get the information about the same. Now it is your responsibility that how you are going to commit yourself, how you are going to time yourself, how you are going to utilize your energy for the competition. Everything is necessary. So we have already noted that participation in a moot court competition involves intensive training. With intensive training comes commitment. A team will set its own level of commitment. But if you want your team to perform at its best, every member, I repeat, each and every member needs to be highly committed to ensure the team's success. Participating in an international mooting competition involves an extraordinary amount of time. It's not a cupcake that you think that there's a competition and you are going to participate and you don't involve yourself, you don't commit yourself to the competition. This will not work out. You will have to give extraordinary amount of time. During our days when we participated in moot court competitions, it generally happened that we had to skip classes, like when we were having uh, trademark classes or patent law classes. During those days when we used to participate in competitions where we were having patent law issues, we used to skip the patent law classes, and the team members, we used to sit together and we used to prepare for the moot court competition. So it takes time to prepare. It really takes time to prepare. All of this needs planning. So you have to plan yourself that how you are going to utilize your time, who is going to do what, who is not going to do what. So everything needs to be planned, and like how much time is left for the competition, in how many days you will have to complete your research work, in how many days you will have you should complete your memorials. Every planning is very important. Now, the first thing which you will have to keep in mind, the time of the year when the moot court actually takes place. That needs careful consideration. So when you are deciding whether or not to participate, now say suppose there's a competition which is going to happen just before your exams or just after your exams, you cannot participate in those competitions because moot court competition needs time, so does your exams needs. Okay, so in those cases you will have to see when your exams are falling, when your assignments are falling, and accordingly you will have to see whether you are comfortable in participating, whether you will be able to give enough time to the competition. That is very necessary. So first you will need to divert your attention from other subjects that also demand and deserve your attention. So a moot held during the year may conflict with important academic events such as exams and due dates for assignment. If this occurs, you will need to consult your lecturers to see if alternative arrangements can be made. Now, say suppose if you are having internal exams, you can speak to your lecturer, you can speak to the principal, and see if any alternative arrangements can be made for you. If that can't be done, I think you should skip that competition. But if some arrangements can be done, then you should go ahead and participate in that competition. Now, the competition has been announced. You have the moot problem with you. Now, what you should do next? As I have always been telling you, read the problem. Read the problem. Read the problem. There is a great deal of excitement when you first receive the moot problem. Everyone is different and approaches the first reading their own way. I may look at a problem in a different way. You may look at a problem at a different way. So we need to give reading. We need to see the different uh, way or different approaches which comes to us. Now, some people read every word of every line very carefully. Others just glance over it and think the answers are obvious. As you would expect, these people are in for a surprise and will very quickly learn that first impression rarely reflects final ones. Initially, uh, you will think that okay, this is something an obvious problem, but later on after doing the research and when you read the problem properly, so what you have initially thought, it's totally something different, so it might come to your surprise. So the best approach is probably somewhere in the middle. Sit down, sit down and read the problem carefully. I repeat that again. Sit down and read the problem carefully. There is no need to be too meticulous the first time you look at it. Instead, you want to absorb the basic information and facts so you can begin to plan how you might tackle the problem. Read it over once, maybe twice. If required, give it a third reading if you want to, and then put it aside and just think about it for a day or so. Sleep on it. Many students, when reading their mood problems for the first time, think, I have absolutely no idea what this is about. By their very nature, international mood competitions deal with complex international legal questions, and therefore the subject matter tends to be outside the ordinary curriculum. Do not be alarmed by the subject matter. All it means is that you are about to face a very steep learning curve. Over the next few weeks, you are going to absorb lots and lots of new information. Far from being bad things. This is a wonderful challenge that should excite you. Now, there are moot court competitions who follow general rules, but some moot court competitions make certain changes in the rules. Okay, so it is important for us to read the rules of the competition. It's a very crucial task. A crucial task is to familiarize yourself with the rules of the competition. Each competition will have its own set of rules, and you need to know exactly how the rules affect how you should prepare. Before you begin to solve the mood problems, imagine you had done months and months of research and handed in your written submissions, and were then told that you would have won an award, but unfortunately you had used the wrong citation method. Or you attended the oral hearings and got perfect scores for all of them, but because you only argued the applicant's case in each moot, you were not eligible for the Best Oralist Award. The rules of the competition will influence the way you prepare. So it is very important that you are familiar with them right from the beginning. For example, there may be rules about how you can use the evidence provided in the moot problem. It would be a waste of valuable time to practice using the evidence in a different way. Be aware that the rules of a particular competition may conflict with some of the recommendations in this lecture. This lecture is being delivered as generally as possible and aims to develop themes that are consistent with most if not all advocacy, whether in international or domestic moods or in professional practice. However, there may be occasions where particular rules prohibit the use of some of the techniques discussed. In particular, you should be aware of the extent to which the rules of the competition allow you to utilize external assistance. If the rules do conflict with a technique discussed in this lecture, think about the purpose of technique suggested and find a way to achieve the same outcome within the rules. Now, asking for help. You should not be ashamed when you are seeking help. Okay, so you need to find a quick way of gaining a rudimentary understanding of the subject matter. Once you have the basics, then you can develop your ideas and start to come to grips with the complexities of the issues. You can be proactive and take steps as a team to begin the learning process. There are many people you can turn for help. Your college professors will be your first port of call, with their specialities in all sort of disciplines, who will be a great resource for you. You should seek out former participants from your college. You should reach out to the participants, those who have already participated in moot court competitions. He may be from your college, or he or she may be from some other college or universities. You know them, you personally know them. Reach out to them, ask them for help. Arguably, there are no better people to give you an understanding of what will be required. Consulting former moot participants can be a vital part of achieving success. Other students at your college may also be able to help. If so, find students who have taken that subject and ask them to speak to the team. Ask the lecturers if there are any postgraduate students who have an interest in the subject matter. Postgraduate students can be a great resource as they are usually experienced researchers who can offer many tips. You might also consider approaching lawyers and law firms, particularly those you are already having a relationship with. Generally, people will be willing to offer their assistance if they know that you appreciate and value their efforts. On this note, it is very important, I repeat, it is very important to thank everyone who gives up the time to help you. Now, this is again one very important thing when you are preparing for a moot court competition: setting deadlines. The task of estimating the time required to complete a project is often one of the hardest. In one of the Star Trek movies, Captain Kirk asks Scotty how he always manages to get things done ahead of the estimated time. Scotty's reply was that he estimated how long it would take and then tripled it before telling the captain when to expect the work to be completed. This is a very sensible idea. Break down the process of preparing for the moot into individual tasks. Divide among yourself. You are three members. Divide among yourself what work is to be done by whom. This will make the work easier for you. And estimate how long each will take. This is a difficult job, and you will have to sit down together and decide. Start by asking yourself when the first task is due. Do you have a matter of weeks or months? Only rarely do things go to plan. So make sure you have enough time to accommodate any unexpected obstacles. Be careful though not to fall into the trap of thinking the deadlines you set are always flexible. Once you get once you set a deadline, always always work to it. So thank you, student. This was the end of lecture 1. We will be continuing with more lectures. So catch you soon on another lecture. Stay home, stay safe. God bless you all.